This is TWiT.
All right, 2 words that strike. It is Halloween coming up. It's spooky month. I guess that's what the Gen Z calls them. So 2 words to strike terror into anyone's heart. Elon Musk. Are you scared?
I'm entertained.
It is entertaining. You got to say that. I know there are people who listen to this show who've already pressed the stop button. I don't blame you, but we got to cover this. This is a story. It's a huge story.
I promise we'll make it entertaining, everyone. Stick around.
Elon's doing his best.
Yeah.
First of all, I was asking this question earlier. Are Elon's tweets weirder on the weekend? Like maybe he's, having
more bored.
High
more
/
bored.
drunk / something.
Yeah. Because I'll show you his most recent tweet. Coming soon from the Boring Company. New fragrance called Burnt Hair from Singed. So what is he smoking? I mean, seriously.
Something good.
We already know what he's smoking.
Oh, actually, we've seen him do it.
We've seen him do it.
He did say that this week that he finds it fun and amusing and relaxing to tweet. But some of these tweets, for instance, his peace plan for Russia.
And China as well. Did you see that one?
Yeah. No, what was
Chinese government? A Chinese government official formally congratulated him, saying, "Actually, yes, a split-state solution is part of our plan for Taiwan." And it was just
this was Elon's plan for Taiwan.
Goodness.
Great.
Yeah,
And yet he mixes it in with these amazing shots of the SpaceX Dragon, docking with the space station, doing stuff that NASA seems to struggle with. It's a very weird admixture of billionaire cockiness, extracurricular drug use, and genius.
Well, you see, the Germans have. Sorry.
There you go.
I want to hear what the Germans have.
I was going to say the Germans have words.
They probably have a word for
so many things.
Yeah, they probably.
But they do have a word for it.
Yeah,
it's called fascidiot. It means someone who is incredibly smart in one or two areas and an absolute idiot in others.
He's a fascidiot. That's exactly right. Yeah.
And my other favorite. Yeah, I mean, also after what he said about Ukraine, it was just there's another German word which is I think Beschallschaft, which is a face made for smacking. And I think the Ukrainians would really feel that way.
Honestly,
at the moment.
if your peace plan gets the vote of the Russian government and the Chinese government, you're probably on the wrong track. I'm just saying. I'm just thinking.
Well, seriously,
unless he's trying to curry favor from the Chinese government.
Well, and then that's the the deeper question. We always ask this question about Donald Trump is like, what is his motive? And honestly, sometimes I do think Elon's playing 12D chess. He's doing it drunk or something. He's doing it on Molly. So this week he wrote a letter saying, okay, fine, I'll buy Twitter. Thereby putting the trial off for a month. Also, maybe more importantly, putting off his deposition, which was scheduled for Thursday, for another month. Also ending discovery. And we were talking about discovery earlier. Discovery, these trials, you might win, you might lose, but they're almost always bad for the participants because stuff comes out that's embarrassing.
The text messages.
I know.
Okay, just a couple things I have to say here. One, like Elon's mindset, and you can see it through the text, is he is never wrong, and it's not it's because everyone is fawning over him, right? And no one's
There's
really
so many ass kissers in his. What did Jason Calacanis say? And you and I are both buds with Jason. I love Jason.
Yeah.
But I'm embarrassed.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but my goodness,
I was going to bring it up.
Fist in the mouth, cringe. I mean, it was just like, don't say it. Oh no, you went there.
What did he say? I can carry your sword, boss, or something like that. He volunteered to be the CEO of Twitter, pestered Elon over and over again. I remember, Ben, you probably got this email. I got the email. Elon said, we're going to get together a consortium of investors to help Elon buy Twitter, and would you like to put some money in? And Elon eventually had to say, and it's in these messages, would you knock it off? This is embarrassing. Elon actually did not look like a doofus in these messages. It was all the people messaging him that looked like dopes, I guess. But what Elon, I think, was afraid of, and I think that there's also a case to be made here, there is evidence that Elon was talking before the whistleblower was talking with Peter Zatko, Mudge. There is a message where he said, let's go to a more secure platform. There apparently some evidence they moved to Signal, and those messages have now been deleted. But there might be a problem there with Elon talking to Mudge before he blew the whistle, you think? That Elon doesn't want that to get out.
Well, it's interesting. In her ruling, the judge did say that there were significant concerns about the Signal messages, or rather the gap in the message string.
The missing messages.
which was supposedly attributed to Signal. So, yeah, that could get really ugly.
That might even be criminal. I don't know. But, I mean, there's more than
this is America. Execs don't get prosecuted for being criminal, for goodness sake. You get a minor fine.
I mean, look, this is the point of why people use Signal, is for this exact use case. And no, Elon's not going to get punished for that. But Elon is going to get, quote unquote, punished he's going to eventually buy Twitter one way or the other. That's just how it seems.
So that's the question for the panel. Is he sincere, and is he going to actually complete the deal? Or, I mean, that's really the question. You think he is, Ben?
He has no choice. He might be trying to make moves to delay things, or to not do deposition, or to try to add
People
a
are
term
saying
or two.
Maybe he thought he was going to lose, and so he wanted to preempt the trial like that.
Right.
I think.
Don't get it. He is historically bad at depositions, because you cannot lie in a deposition, and he's historically bad at them. And he doesn't want to go through that, and none of us really want to go through that.
I
that
wouldn't
is not
either.
a fun.
Yeah, especially on Molly.
So, whichever drug of your choice you want to have your deposition in, that is up to you,
man.
and then you can keep on saying that in the jail cell. But for Elon, he's stuck. He's stuck.
He's gonna have to buy it.
He's gonna have to buy it. Like I'm sure he's trying to figure out every single way to weasel out. But I think the truth is that he's going to buy it, and then he's going to have that chip on his shoulder to try to prove everyone wrong. Like, I can actually make this worth more money, and I can implement what I'm saying, and it won't break all of Twitter. And
if he buys it at which he says he will, $54.20 a share, it's way overvalued, right? He's like buying a car for 50% over the asking price. It's nuts.
It's like Microsoft trying to buy Yahoo for what was it, for 48 billion.
Yeah, yeah. They breathed a sigh of relief when that fell through, I could tell you.
Oh, I saw Barman give a talk on that, and he was just like, that was the biggest lucky break of my career.
Man,
was getting turned down by Jerry Yang. And he was just like, seriously, we dodged such a bullet on that.
But isn't that interesting? I mean, that's maybe what happened to Elon. He thought it was a good idea, and then a day later he went, oh, what was I thinking? This is a terrible idea. Tried to get out of it almost immediately.
Well, but he could have kept the due diligence portions in that deal, and he didn't. And that's part of what's screwing him over, because if it had the due diligence portions, he would have been able to get out after due diligence pieces. And he rushed it, what he did, because it felt he probably felt like he had to rush it. And I get why he wants to own, a central source of media, but it is an overvalued piece. But there's no way out, and Twitter's not going to let him get out of it. The shareholders are not going to let him get out of it. I don't know. I cannot think of a way he gets out of it. I'd be curious to see, but I'm starting to already move on to what does Twitter look like after Elon owns it? Do you call it Musker?
Okay.
Do you send Musks?
Yeah.
Is there gonna you press Elon's head when you send a Musk?
I would stick around.
How do people feel about this? He's talking about this X app, and as an Android developer, I'm curious what you think on this one, because all this X app stuff looks like a coping strategy for, oh my God, I can't believe what I said I'd buy
Elon's
last night.
problem right now. Here's Elon's problem right now. He not only is he going to have to spend $44 billion, but the banks who have lent him money, Larry Ellison, the Saudi sovereign fund, I would guess they're not compelled, right, Ben? They're not compelled to go through with it, or maybe they are. they're looking at huge losses. He has to convince the investor, because if he doesn't get money from them, he's selling a lot of Tesla stock. That's going to be a big business problem going down the road. So he has to convince investors he has the genius plan. That's why he tweeted, Twitter is, what does he say, just accelerant for the Everything app, X, the Everything app. So that's a great question, Ian, for when, why isn't there an Everything app? He's likening it to WeChat in China. Why don't we have a WeChat in the U.S.? And could you make one?
No, this is insane. So I think part of it. No, this is
too easy.
Insane. No. Sorry. So I think that it's totally missing a lot of things. So just like a lot of other things, like kind of something succeeding depends on a lot of different things, timing, luck, just like a lot of different things. And so I think, I'm not really an expert. So as far as I can tell, as just an engineer, is that, WeChat, I think, grew organically, as a chat app, and like kind of just like, though kind of reflecting back on the whole RCS problem, messages, iMessages, whatever, is that, chat is such an interesting, kind of function and like app category within our mobile space. It kind of makes sense that WeChat is what it is because of this kind of organic nature, especially with chat apps being very country, like heavily country based. Like outside of the US, there like a lot of chat networks are by country. So you have like Kakao Talk in Korea, WeChat in China, Line in Japan. And so, especially given what I understand of like Chinese society and everything, it kind of makes sense that they started with WeChat, which was this kind of like great platform for, communicating with everyone over apps, kind of building on top of that. And so in our country, we have it different. We have this whole like plethora of chat apps, and as well, not to mention the other things that X is supposed to do, like freaking financial transactions and purchasing. Like that function has already been, taken up by various things like Venmo, Google Pay, Cash, whatever you have. And and kind of like one of the problems facing app developers in the year of our smartphone 2022 is the fact that you already have so much competition, so much like embedded, user bases, that trying to come up with the new thing to supplant whatever exists is a hard, challenge in any individual industry, in any individual segment, any individual like vertical, whatever you want to call it. So the idea that Elon Musk is going to take Twitter, which is a social media network or social network of, its own very wide swath of problems, political, sociological, security, everything else, and then build, the big app on top of it and get not just Twitter users to use all these things, but try to bring average people that don't like Twitter or that aren't kind of like doom scrolling every day to bring this on is just kind of fighting against that kind of internal entropy that people tend to have with the things that they like. It's like the IKEA problem. Once you have something that works, it takes a lot for people to move on from that. And so that is like kind of a lot of the problem that people are navigating in the app space. So I don't see him replacing everything with X app.
You don't think Americans are looking for the one app to rule them all?
I personally don't think so.
We're completely happy to have 20 apps that we use. We use Venmo and we use Twitter.
It's easy to switch between, and they're better individual than apart. And like Huyen's right. Yeah. But
let's not forget that WeChat succeeded in China at a time when the Great Firewall of China blocked Facebook and Twitter and a whole lot of social services. So there wasn't that choice in China. Mm-hmm. There was really a lot of support for Tencent from the Chinese government to do this.
That's the rub.
They got sweetheart deals with the trains, and so you're not in communist China with the Great Firewall of China blocking you from all these Western apps. You're just not in that environment.
It's a different environment, but like really to understand like the X piece, because this is a dream that Elon has had for 20 years.
It was the name of his first company, was X.
It was the name of his first company. Mm-hmm. It merged with Peter Thiel's company. What was it called? Confinity. And it turned, Confinity, and it turned into PayPal.
Right.
And, he was successful as a software founder with PayPal, of course. I make a prediction. I would not be shocked if Elon put Twitter and X.com together and turn it into some combination of Twitter plus like a financial app and use Twitter as a basis for that. Added some crypto go to it. Will it succeed in it? I don't think so. I think that's extraordinarily difficult, but I think he's wanted to do something like this actually for a very long time, at least the X.com thing. He wanted another shot at it. Now he could use Twitter to go and like make another shot at it. I can see that being what's in his head right now.
He's, by the way, lost control of the X.com domain, but bought it back. He has it.
Right.
But owning a web domain is meaningless in this day and age, right? If it doesn't succeed on mobile, it's not going to succeed.
If you can't put the pieces together, then, and if you can't deliver the app.
And why is Twitter a good place to start? I don't even think Twitter is the right place. You would much prefer to have WhatsApp than Twitter, right? Or Facebook Messenger or even Apple Messages. And by the way, Facebook would love to do the everything app. So would Apple. Neither one has tried or succeeded. They both have payments. They both have parts of it.
The technical logistics of this as well, ridiculous. I mean, it's hard enough to build one good financial app. It's hard enough to build one secure chat app. It's hard enough to do one thing. And, we've already talked about millions of examples, say for Google example, where even just individual products and kind of brand and vision coherence it is apparently very hard, unsurprisingly. So just the technical and like logistics of doing all of this in one app and trying to supplant every other app is just insane. As an engineer, I'd be like, nope. No.
Well, and Elon's got another challenge, which is already since his bid for Twitter, 700 people have left. I don't know if you know anybody who works at Twitter, but I would bet that a lot of current employees are thinking, yeah, let me just polish up that old resume here.
This isn't what I signed up for type thing, particularly if the share price jumps on the buyout. Because they can then cash out the share.
Isn't that? I see. Then they
cash out the day.
They can cash out their shares at a higher value. And one of the things from the tweets came through was that several people were saying once you take over, you can do a really good cull of headcount because all the people that don't like you are going to leave, and that gives you an instant reduction in headcount and sort of fixed costs. But honestly, I just don't see it. I really don't. Twitter's a declining social network platform anyway. Important with the older guard, but not with the younger. Turning this into some kind of, X platform which does everything, it's fantasy land.
Twitter went up more than $10 really when he said, I'm going to buy it. Currently $49.18. The differential between $49.18 and $54.20, that $5 differential is exactly how much or little the stock market believes. Right? If the stock market really believed it was going to happen, the stock price would be $54.18.
Yeah.
So that's problem number one.
I just don't see how he's going to wriggle out of it. That's the thing.
I think he is going to buy it. But there's still that $5 worth of uncertainty.
Yeah,
he's
Twitter
going to buy
would twist the knife.
Yeah.
And then he's going to have different stories the next day. The very next day, the first story is going to be, I have returned to the greatest platform of all time.
Trump said, by the way, even if Elon invites me back, I've got Truth Social. I don't need Twitter anymore.
No, he'll be back.
Yeah, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
He'll be back.
Yeah.
Period.
But I have to say, I would bet that there'd be, 5 million people would leave the minute that happened, right? And in protest. Here's Chris Anderson, the guy who does TED Talks. Amidst all the sneering, I'd like to offer a prediction for how the Elon Musk acquisition of Twitter will play out. First of all, I think the deal will indeed go through now, backed by an impressive roster of co-investors. Oh, get ready for some. Next, the company will undoubtedly experience a period of significant turmoil. Yes, there's a lot of change ahead. Many won't like it, but it will gradually become clear that a lot of the changes are actually quite exciting. First of all, fears of all content moderation being abandoned will prove unfounded. I agree with Chris on that. You can't. You make a cesspool. It becomes 4chan if you don't keep content moderation going. Instead, he says the algorithm will be adjusted to avoid giving so much amplification to political divisiveness. Is that the problem on Twitter? He says the debate that matters is not about who is on or off the platform, but what type of tweets get amplified. If that can change, everything changes. You know what's interesting? And we saw this in the messages to Elon too. Everybody who's anybody in tech has an idea of what Twitter needs to survive. what you could do with Twitter, and this is Chris Anderson's idea. Next, steps will be put into place to verify all human Twitter accounts. That process will lay the basis for those accounts to be used for transactions a la WeChat, using a Twitter crypto coin. Oh, boy. Or USD.
There will be crypto.
There will be crypto. You're right.
Yeah.
There will be crypto. For example, people may be offered paid subscriptions and receive usable tokens. This could bring the company significant revenue, plus create its own economy on which goods and services can be transacted. The sheer scale of Twitter can rapidly bring this to critical mass. About a year from now, growing numbers of people will be attracted to Twitter/X. It will be far less prone to robo-spam and algorithmic-fueled outrage. Instead, it will offer lots of new functionality. There's plenty Elon can be legitimately criticized for. His own use of Twitter can seem ill-advised. He can give the impression of being more political than he is. And there's no question there'll be many bumps along the way. But this is the key point. As a tech entrepreneur, he is without peer. In 2013... No giggling.
Look.
No giggling.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
In 2013, Chris Anderson goes on, I predicted he could become the world's richest man within a decade. Check. The next decade will be even more spectacular. Fixing Twitter may be as hard a job as converting Teslas into robo-taxis and proving the viability of a monster rocket capable of taking humanity to Mars. But within 3 years from today, I predict Elon will have accomplished all three. To which Elon says, yeah, right. Elon was very happy with this tweet.
Would you like a set of knee pads with that? But no.
Good Lord, 3 years? Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Quite a prediction, huh? We'll be on Mars. Twitter will be the WeChat of the U.S., of the Western world.
I wrote a story a while back where Musk was saying we will have our first Dragon capsule on Mars, I think, in 2019.
Oops.
It's a Musk deadline. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
always
Meaningless.
add 3 years.
Well, at least.
Hey, we should talk Linux. It's the operating system that runs the internet, a bunch of game consoles, cell phones, and maybe even the machine on your desk. But you already knew all that. What you may not know is that TWiT now has a show dedicated to it, the Untitled Linux Show. Whether you're a Linux pro, a burgeoning sysadmin, or just curious what the big deal is, you should join us on the Club TWiT Discord every Saturday afternoon for news, analysis, and tips to sharpen your Linux skills. And then make sure you subscribe to the Club TWiT exclusive Untitled Linux Show. Wait, you're not a Club TWiT member yet? Well, go to twit.tv/clubtwit and sign up. Hope to see you there.